Why is illegal immigration never going away? Apprehensions at the border are down. They've declined they've been declining since the middle of last summer, and of course they've been declining since Trump took office. The Trump administration stopped providing daily ICE updates almost 2 weeks ago. The administration suggested in social media posts that ICE had arrested about 8,500 immigrants suspected of entering the country illegally in Trump's first 2 weeks in office, but all they did was suggest that. And they don't give us any updates any longer, so we don't really know. This is transparency today. Trump's asylum crackdown may prompt more immigrants to attempt to avoid detection as they enter the U.S. illegally through Arizona's forbidding desert terrain, a perilous journey that often leads to dehydration and death. That from Axios. So, okay, we're going to build more wall. I think we all agree that's going to happen. Trump's going to get the money in the next congressional budget. He's going to sign it. There will be more wall built. Mm-hmm. Is that a foregone conclusion?
They'll be arguing about what does it look like? Is it repairing existing wall? Is it new wall? What is it made out of? Is it 20 feet high or is it just barbed wire? There'll be something done.
But there will be more built this time around than what there was last time, right? More new barriers.
There'll at least be something new that goes up.
What was it, like 70 miles total out of the last administration? I know they replaced a lot of the old ones.
There will be more border.
Plenty more border.
Yeah.
Fence.
Agreed.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
So we agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So more border fence. We've got a turnaround, go home policy at the ports of entry, right?
We have
the remain in Mexico policy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can't even stay in the U.S. and wait for your court date now. You've got to stay down in Mexico.
So wouldn't you think nobody's going to come across the border anymore, right? I mean,
no. Come on.
So what are the reasons then that people would? Why is no politician can fix this? Then is what I'm hearing you say. Why?
Why is there always going to be illegal immigration?
Yes.
Oh well, I would say trafficking, for one, a desire to get people into the U.S., human smuggling, to get them in here.
But who wants them in here? Is it a push or a pull issue?
I think other countries want to get their citizens in here.
What? The countries themselves?
No,
like the foreign governments?
Individuals from those countries.
Okay, so are they want to get to the United States because there's something here for them, or they're trying to flee from their home country? So is it a push or a pull?
I think it's both.
So as long as there's both a push and a pull, there's always going to be a need to be filled.
Yeah, I think it's big business. I think there's an opportunity for coyotes. I think as long as there is that carrot in the U.S. of new beginnings and opportunity, I think if you're from Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, name any country out there. It doesn't just have to be, the countries south of the U.S. But as long as the U.S. is looked at as better than those countries, there'll be a desire to get here and to get to some of those other countries, too. There'll be a desire
so that's a pull, then.
Illegally immigrate to there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be bad guys who want to get people in, coyotes who see that as their job, drugs.
Yeah, but if nobody wants to come in, the coyotes don't have a job, right?
But there's going to be people who want to come in because their country is a blank hole, as I believe our president so succinctly put it in his previous term.
Yeah. Okay. I get that, too.
What do you think it is? Because you think it's going to keep going, too. It's never going to – I think it could slow down and it could heat up for sure, but ever hit zero? No.
No. And I agree with you. I think that as long as there's a push from other countries, in other words, I don't want to be here anymore in insert name of country here.
Yeah, I'm being...
Whether that's Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, Costa Rica, whatever it is.
I'm persecuted. My life here is so awful.
Right.
I'm being beaten. Who knows? Right. Any number of things.
Or the pull, which is the United States is a land I want to get to. The United States has so many opportunities. The United States is where my relatives are. Or suppose that you are a member of the cartel. The United States is where the business is. I can sell to people in the United States. Look, Miami still loves their cocaine. It might not be 1986 any longer, but they still love it.
Yeah.
Fentanyl. Boy, we sure love our fentanyl. United States, as long as there's a desire for it, there's going to be somebody trying to sneak across the border to bring it to us, right? Because there's money to be made.
Sure.
So I think that goes to the business aspect that you were talking about. But I think that I think we have a pendulum, and the pendulum always swings back and forth. And so we get to a point where illegal immigration is at a high, and we go, we got to do something. We got to crack down on it. And then we elect somebody that's going to be tough on immigration.
So from Biden to Trump.
And then swings back the other way. Trump, I'm going to be tough on it. I'm going to build the wall. I'm going to stop everything, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden we go, now who do we have to build all the homes that we need built, because we have a housing shortage and our construction sector is being hurt because they don't have the employees. Who's going to work in the slaughterhouses because the price of beef has gone up and it continues to climb because we don't have enough people to do that? Who's going to pick the vegetables because the price at the grocery store continues to increase? And then we're going to say, man, Trump has really not done anything for inflation. Look, the price of my groceries has gone up. And then all of a sudden we elect somebody else, and then the pendulum swings back the other way. So I think
again, never hits zero.
Never hits zero. But I think we end up with this pendulum that goes back and forth and back and forth. And I think that a lot of people overvalue the impact of undocumented immigrants. And I think a lot of people undervalue it. I think a lot of people underestimate the negative impacts of undocumented immigrants. And a lot of people overestimate the impact of undocumented immigrants.
So you're saying there's a lot of people out there, especially in politics,
sure,
that like to scream and yell for effect.
Oh, I think that's probably the biggest reason it never goes to zero.
Oh.
Because if we fixed it, what would they yell about?
They'd move on to another issue, but it's one of their favorite ones to yell about.
Because it's really easy to demonize somebody. Mm-hmm. Really easy. Throughout history, all you have to do is point to immigrants and say they're the problem. Not just U.S. history, world history. You just point to people who are different and go, that's the problem. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest reason it's not going away. In fact, let's open the phones here. 602-277-KTAR. 602-277-5827 is our phone number. Question is, do you see illegal immigration ending in your lifetime? You heard from Joe and I. We don't. But do you think there's a possibility illegal immigration ends in your lifetime? 602-277-5827. Again, 602-277-KTAR. And then next, imagine if you're facing the potential for deportation, but your kids were born here. What are you going to do to prepare? You going into hiding? You packing a go bag? Getting ready to smuggle them into your home country where they don't have citizenship? What some are doing is next on the Chris and Joe Show, KTAR News.
Thanks for watching the Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.